This is a tutorial on how to begin your embroidery if you don't want to have a mess on the underside. If you want to avoid lots of threads and knots, such as this. So this is the underside of a piece that I did, and it's pretty clean. This is the front side. So if you want to avoid the messy threads on the back side, which you usually want to do for tea towels or any type of towel, or a lot of times fabric that you're going to be sewing maybe onto a pillow. Sometimes the fabric, like this is muslin, you can see the thread through the fabric. So if you want to avoid that, this is how to do it and to make it look clean on both sides. So you're going to start off with your DMC, which is just the brand name, but it's almost all embroidery thread is typically referred to as DMC. This is a really inexpensive hobby. This DMC thread costs about 30 cents per color, and they make a million colors. And basically all you need is this, a needle, a design, and some fabric. Okay, so typically when you start, you're going to take your thread, and instead of snipping off the amount of thread that you want, you know, say you wanted this 8 or 12 inches right here, instead of cutting it right away, you're going to double it so that you make a loop. And that it'll create a loop that you can then push your needle through and pull taut so that you don't have to tie a knot to keep your thread from coming through the top of the fabric. Okay, you'll see what I mean. It's much easier than it probably seems. So let's just say, for example's sake, this is the amount of thread I want to use, okay? So instead of cutting it right here, I am going to double it. So I'm going to take twice the amount that I actually want to use, and I'm going to cut it right there. Okay. Now with this DMC, it comes in a 6-ply, but sometimes you don't want your lines to be quite that thick. On mine, I prefer, on this particular project, I'm preferring a 4-ply or a 3-ply. So if you just want to use it as is, then all you're going to do, here's your doubled length of thread, right? So you double it. So all you're going to do is use it this way. Okay, but I'm going to go ahead and split mine so you can see how you split it. So you take one end and kind of twirl it in between your fingers until the strands come loose from one another. And I'm going to go ahead and do a 4-ply. So half of 4 is 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 of my strands, pull them away from the other 4 strands. And lots of people do this in their mouth, like this, to hold the end, and you slide it through your mouth as you are unraveling, as you're separating the strands. I used to do that until I learned how to just use my fingers. So I hold the threads that are together in my fingers like this, and then I insert my index finger in between them, and I don't know how, there we go, how good this is, and I just slide my finger down, and as I slide my finger down, I'm holding the 6-ply strands in between my pinky and my ring finger. And if you just go all the way down, it'll spin and spin and spin as it comes apart. Okay. So now that we have our strands separated, I'm going to discard the excess ones off to the side. Save them because you can easily use them later. So now I have my my double length 2 strands, but I want a 4-ply. So I'm going to fold it in half, and I hope you can see this. Fold it in half and just pull the 2 cut ends, let's see, there we go, together. These ends you are going to thread through the eye of your needle. A little bit of spit works, so does lip gloss. Okay, we have our embroidery needle, and just get your strands threaded through your needle. Make sure you're using the right size needle for your fabric. They come in lots of different sizes. They're very cheap. Okay, so now we have it strung, and we have created a little kind of loop because it's doubled. So we're going to take the piece that we're ready to embroider. I just had a piece transferred onto this muslin, and we're going to come up through the bottom at wherever our starting point is. We're going to start on the eye here. Come up through the bottom and pull your needle most of the way out, not all the way. If you pull it all the way, it's just going to go straight through and you haven't done anything. You're going to flip it over and notice that there's a little loop. Okay. Hold on to that loop with your finger and insert your needle back in to your second point to make your first stitch. Here's the back side. So my needle has come out the back side right next to my entry point, and you're just going to pull it and insert your needle through the tiny little loop that you've made and pull it taut. And that's it. You don't have to tie a knot, you don't have any messy threads hanging out, and most of all, you don't have to worry about you're not giving away and coming through the fabric and making a hole, which looks pretty nasty. So that's it. That's all there is to it. And then you continue to embroider your piece on the other side. This is also really good for sewing on buttons. You've probably, if you've sewn on a button, you may have used this little trick already without really thinking about it, but this is also a good trick for buttons. So that is the clean underside to an embroidery piece, the knotless tutorial.